The end to a kill. Hitman 3 ending explained. One of the most interesting additions to 2021's Hitman 3 is the clear focus on narrative storytelling. The first two games certainly provided a spine to follow, but the third entry doubles down, delving into Agent 47's backstory and providing a meaningful resolution to the plot IO Interactive has been setting up for the last 4 years. The Hitman world has a few major characters and organizations that players should be familiar with before diving in. Of course, there's Agent 47, our quiet but effective protagonist, a genetically modified clone built to be the perfect assassin. Then there's Diana Burwood, 47's handler, who provides him with information about his contracts and assists during missions. They both worked for the International Contract Agency, a for-hire assassination conglomerate that specializes in whacking influential and usually inaccessible people. This is the basic premise that runs through all of the Hitman games. 47's day job involves carrying out extravagant hits for the ICA, and on occasion, some other organizations. Hitman 3 is the last entry in IO Interactive's World of Assassination trilogy, which kicked off in 2016 with Hitman. In this game, 47 and Diana collaborate to take on a series of seemingly disconnected contracts. They kill many high-value targets, but it is slowly revealed that the missions have all been coordinated by someone known as the Shadow Client, who is using 47 and the ICA as a smokescreen to dispatch of particular members of an evil organization known as Providence, which is basically Hitman's version of the Illuminati. At the end of Hitman, Diana is approached by a member of Providence, who enlists their help in taking down the Shadow Client, in exchange for information about 47's shadowy past. In Hitman 2, 47 and Diana hunt the Shadow Client for Providence, and find out his identity, Lucas Gray, or Subject 6. Gray is a clone created in the same lab as 47, and they were friends during childhood. At the time, they vowed to take revenge on their creators, but it didn't pan out, and 47 had his memories wiped. It turns out that the evil scientist who created Gray and 47 was a member of Providence, which is why Gray has been using 47 to take down the organization all these years later, using the Shadow Client alias. Gray notes that Providence is controlled by 3 influential leaders known as the Partners, but they need to capture a character known as the Constant, who is pretty much the mastermind behind it all, who knows where the Partners are. They capture the Constant, and he spills the beans, but reveals to Diana that 47 killed her parents way back when, which jeopardizes their cushy relationship. So, with all that in mind, Hitman 3 opens with 47 taking down the Partners with the help of Lucas Gray and Diana Burwood. Once that's done, it's revealed that the Constant Arthur Edwards set up their deaths in a pesky power sweep. Gray is captured just after, but before he commits suicide, he tells 47 that Diana has been compromised by Providence because the Constant of Providence showed her that 47 killed her parents, and that he needs to replace Burwood with Gray's handler, a hacker called Olivia Hall. 47 and Hall are then hunted by ICA assassins, the organization that used to employ 47 and the now compromised Burwood. 47 makes short work of the assassins and then heads to China to infiltrate the ICA headquarters. 47 exposes the ICA to the public and wipes all of the data they have on him and Diana from the servers. This was a smart move, because Burwood hasn't actually betrayed 47. She's just working with the Constant as a double agent. She's playing ball in order to become the new leader of Providence, so she can dismantle it from the inside, or so we're led to believe. In Mendoza, 47 takes out a target so Diana can become the new Constant and execute her plan, but in a big twist, she incapacitates 47 at the end of the mission and hands him to the current Constant Edwards, who wants to wipe his memory and turn him into his own personal assassin. In a dreamlike sequence, 47 successfully fights the effects of the neurotoxin with the help of Gray and Burwood, regaining consciousness on a train occupied by Edwards and his Providence goons in the Carpathian Mountains. This was all part of Burwood's plan. 47 still has his memories and is now in a position to take out Edwards and defeat Providence for good. So in one final assassination mission, he kills Edwards, or injects him with the amnesiac serum that was meant for 47, and escapes, leaving everything behind.
As long as you're the one
With
getting
Edward's
paid.
dead,
Ain't that the
Burwood
truth?
destroys Providence and comes to terms with 47
Friends and
killing her
founders,
parents.
The recess is
In the
over.
final scene,
Let's return to the
47 and
council
Burwood
room
speak over
and
the phone,
proceed with the
noting
coming
that
on
while
a
they have
little
left
too
the
strong,
ICA
mister.
and Providence behind, there will always be a need for the dynamic duo, so long as there are evil elites to keep in check. There we have it. The ending suggests that 47 and Burwood will continue to work together, without the backing of the ICA or any other shadowy, dangerous organization. They're now a freelance, highly effective assassination duo, ready to rid the world of corrupt elites. Agent 47's unique brand of slow-paced stealth, in an assortment of dense, deadly, and deeply varied murder playgrounds, has reached a wonderful crescendo in Hitman 3. While it doesn't stray from the killer chord combination developer IO Interactive crafted for 2016's Hitman, and continued to use in 2018's Hitman 2, it's abundantly clear here that the studio has well and truly mastered its act,
Let's reiterate.
with some of the most surprising and
decades,
imaginative
you,
levels in the series so
titans of the
far.
energy industry,
Hitman 3 may
have
feel largely
conspired to
familiar
obscure
to
the
its two
truth
most
about
recent
climate
predecessors.
change
But
through
just thinking of the
lobbying,
hours upon hours of
misinformation,
chaos,
and propaganda.
carnage, and cruel comedy
This
that each of
strategy
its
has
6
been
outstanding new
incredibly
maps will
successful.
produce makes me
But
giddy.
all good
This final
things
chapter of
must
IO's
come
World
to
of
an end.
Assassination trilogy
It
that
is
began with
time for you
2016's
to
Hitman might be
adapt
better thought of as an
or
expansion
die.
than a sequel.
Ladies and gentlemen,
If you've bounced off Hitman
This
before,
is why our
particularly in the
analysts
last
have
5
devised
years,
a 10-year
know that there's been
transition
no
plan
big reinvention
to
of the
keep
bald
you
bloke's
in
blueprint
power.
in Hitman 3. The
Play this
interface
right,
and
and you will
controls
not
have
only
remained
thrive, but
consistent
this
in their
time,
stiffness,
you
and the range of
will be
uses
the
for your
good
weapons and
guys.
items are
In
drastically
other
different
words,
either.
you have
The most
nothing to
notable new
lose.
toy in Hitman 3 is a
So,
camera, which can
everyone
be
in
used to
favor,
hack or examine
say
switches
aye.
and items, which is handy, but not really a game changer. The true strength of Hitman 3, then, is found in its maps. All 6 of Hitman 3's beautiful
nay,
and
Block.
strikingly well-lit
Silence
levels
is
are amongst
consent.
the strongest of the series. So much so that
Nay.
it's hard to pick a
Excuse
standout
me?
favorite.
You heard me.
Things get off to a
Nay.
fairly stunning start,
love
with
of-
47 parachuting onto the world's tallest building in Dubai and infiltrating its opulent interior. But that high bar is maintained throughout.
Four
The
eyes
follow-up mission is a
and
nod
one
and a wink to
nay.
Contract's Beldingford Manor map,
Jebediah
and takes
Block
47 to a
vetoes
similarly
the motion.
massive UK country manor,
This
where
council
one
is adjourned
entertainingly
until
ironic
further
route to
notice.
killing your target
Block.
involves posing as a detective
Howard,
who's there to solve a murder
upstairs.
on the property.
Right away, please.
From there, it's off to a massive German rave, for a mission that oozes atmosphere and puts an interesting twist on hunting down your 5 targets amongst the throngs of sweaty 24-hour party people. And then to Chongqing, China, where the glow of neon lights, the reflections in the soaked streets, and the trickle of rain down 47's jacket combine for perhaps the most visually impressive mission of the series so far. The next stop is an Argentinian vineyard that reminded me of Blood Money's excellent A Vintage Year map, only vastly bigger. Then the finale is a fabulous surprise unlike any Hitman mission to date, and one which I sincerely hope isn't spoiled for you. It's tricky to speak about these locations in too much detail, without ruining the thrill of strolling through them and revealing massive new areas you had no idea existed.
Are you gonna tell me
But
what
these
the
environments
hell
are
you're
truly
playing
some
at?
of the most memorable
Just
and
looking
remarkable
out for
maps
number
IO
one.
has ever created.
Don't be an
From the
idiot.
intimidating verticality
Your
on
future
display
in
while
coal
perched on the
block.
outside
You
of the
have one
highest
choice.
skyscraper in the
Go
world,
green or
to
go
the rustic
extinct.
charm of
Now,
Thornbridge Manor,
personally,
I'm
I don't
equally
give a
hesitant
shit
to
if
reveal
you
the
go the way of
quirky
the dodo,
assassination
but you
opportunities they
are
contain,
one of the Ark
but I will
Society's
say
biggest
Hitman 3
contributors.
contains both
We'd hate to
the
lose your
funniest and the
business.
most complex
Besides,
Hitman kill I've ever played,
terrestrial cold
and at
blows
least
under,
one of the most dastardly,
who will pay for
and there
your
are still
children's
many I
survival?
haven't got to yet.
Your grandkids.
Yes, a lot of the kills
After
are gentle
all,
remixes of ones that have
nobody
come
says
before,
disaster will
but they're
strike
still
in
cleverly
our
built up.
lifetime.
As always, the slow burn
have
thrill of
a
these games
moral
comes from
duty to
planning,
stay
patience, and
rich,
hiding in plain
Block.
sight.
Nice try.
The key to success
But I
is
don't
finding the
have
perfect
grandchildren.
disguise for exploration, listening
You just
and
had
looking
to
for
make this
opportunities,
difficult,
and
didn't
getting the
you?
timing just right to pull off the perfect crime and escape unseen. It's an unapologetically single-player
Here's the deal,
experience that
Block.
rewards rational thinking
My
over rushing,
family and I,
although it is flexible enough
We
to cater to
serve
both
a group
extremes.
of powerful
Those who
individuals
prefer to follow
who
the
prefer to
multi-layered
stay
mini-stories
anonymous.
playing out within the
Letting
levels
the climate
to make
go to hell in a
invisible surgical
handbasket
strikes
has
and
served their
disappear
interest
without a
well,
trace.
but
And those who
only
like
up
to
a
improvise
point.
and leave behind
You
piles
see,
of dead and
they are
unconscious men
sitting
in
on
their
some patents
underpants,
that'll knock
stacked
your
like
socks
cordwood.
off.
You can get
weather
away with
control
all of this
systems,
because the
recycling
often
pollution
hilariously
as
naive
fuel,
AI is still
cold
easy to
fusion,
exploit as ever.
You name it.
Of course,
And they plan to
tricking
make
the dopey
trillions,
guards and civilians with
protecting the
unexpected
world
distractions
from the
and
very
suspicious
threat they worked
items
so
has
hard to
emerged as
create,
such a
but to
fundamental
do
part
so,
of the puzzle
they
solving
need
in the
you
current
guys
Hitman
to
trilogy,
quite literally
and I've
stop
actually
fighting
grown to love
windmills.
these dumb bastards over the years.
The truth.
These
at
folks
last.
won't even blink an eye
I'm
at a
once in
severe-faced
it for
stranger
Jebediah
who's wearing the
Blanc.
clothes of a man they very recently had a conversation with.
Gentlemen,
And,
please
while that
give
does
me and
rob
Mr.
stealthy
Blanc a
victories of
moment.
believability at times, this kind of suspension of disbelief is simply necessary for Hitman to function. As grim as the murder-for-hire premise
I
seems
offered
on
you
the
a
surface,
carrot.
this has always
Now,
been a
here's
cheekily
the
self-aware
stick.
series that
We know
relishes in
about
a general
Montana,
degree of
Blanc.
silliness and
The
gallows
mine
humor.
collapse in 2015.
These great levels are linked
It would
together
be
by
a
the conclusion to
shame
the
if the
Lib story
American
arc
public
that
got
kicked
wind
off in
of your
2016.
somewhat creative
While this
approach
hackneyed
to
story of competing
safety
shadow
regulations.
organizations is unlikely to have
Your
Netflix power
popularity
brokers
ratings are just
sprinting to
south
the
of
nearest
John Wilkes
checkbook,
Booth as it
it's
is.
nice to have it wrapped after 5
see.
years, even if it's been entirely inessential to my enjoyment of the levels themselves. Now,
Both
at
targets
least we'll be
down.
able to move on to
Impressive work,
something that's
Forrester.
hopefully a
And
bit
now,
different.
to confront the
The biggest
constants.
advantage of there not being any revolutionary changes in Hitman
Mr.
3
Gray, what's
is
your
that
status?
owners of Hitman and Hitman 2 can
at the
carry over their
helicopter, but the
levels and
place is
progress to
crawling with
Hitman
security.
3. There's a certain
47, you
tidiness
better
to
bring the
rolling the
closest to one of the
trilogy into a
boats in the
single
harbor where
product
it's
that I
quiet.
really like.
You can
And
use
I
the kill
admire
switch to
IO's
coerce.
commitment to keeping the previous game's content alive like this. On Xbox Series X, this is mostly seamless. As an owner of both previous Hitman games on Xbox One, Hitman 3 was automatically augmented with all previous maps, although the progression carryover functionality wasn't operational for me at the time of review. The PC situation is hindered somewhat by the shift from Steam to the Epic Games Store, though IO Interactive has gone on the record that an import feature will be available within weeks. It's also proven to be a little unruly on PlayStation 5. Despite having both previous games installed, Hitman 3 is directing me to further downloads to allow access, neither of which are available at time of review. The lack of native support for PSVR on PS5 also meant I had to download and install the PS4 version of Hitman 3 alongside the PS5 version, which is a bit of a messy solution, but that's really on Sony rather than IO. For its part, IO provides a free digital copy of the PS4 version to all who buy the PS5 version, so nobody misses out. When you get it up and running, Hitman in VR is worth a dabble if you own a PSVR, though really only to experience its general slapstick goofiness firsthand. You have to play with the DualShock 4 because the Move controllers just don't have enough buttons, and while it can generally handle melee attacks, the shooting experience is really quite cumbersome, imprecise, and irritating as a consequence. The end result is a system that winds up marooned halfway between full motion controls and traditional controls, which I found regularly brain-bending and occasionally stomach-churning. There's no denying that getting access to all of Hitman and Hitman 2's levels in VR is incredible value. And it's a novelty feeling as if you're truly inside these levels. But it's janky, primitive, and really not the best way to play. Rich, rewarding, and highly replayable, Hitman 3 is a superb installment of IO's idiosyncratic but much-loved stealth series. The fundamentals haven't changed since 2016, but its collection of outstanding
The
maps
Washingtons are
makes
dead.
for a refined,
I have the kill
reliable,
switch.
and
What
robust
did you
curtain
say?
closer to the current Hitman trilogy.
How could you know
6
about
maps
that?
may sound
You will
slim,
head towards
but
the
each one is
harbor.
huge
No
and designed to be
sudden
played
moves.
several times
No
over.
signs.
And even then,
No warnings.
it's very unlikely you'll have
I will trigger
uncovered
the
all of its
device if I
creative
need to.
and surprising
I know you.
assassination opportunities.
The boy in the picture.
There really isn't
Yeah,
a
his
weak one in the
eyes.
bunch. This barcoded
what's
butcher
his
has made a
size?
lot of appearances over the past 20 years, but Hitman 3 is definitely one of his best.
You must have seen the son of a bitch.
Partners no more, I take it.
Hey!
Positive ID on our guy.
Partners no more, I take it. I had a notion something didn't sit right with my mentor's betrayal. You murdered him, I take it, to get to me.
Not just that. He had it coming.
Interesting. It was my impression that you were cured of such sentiment. The good doctor built his serum specifically to target the seats of your emotions. Has Miss Burnwood's sense of justice rubbed off on you? I wonder.
Just keep walking.
Adore old castles like this. I'm sure there must be a lot of secret passageways.
I suppose you're right. I never really thought about it.
When I was little, my dad used to rent a castle for me and my friends on my birthday so we could farm. You know,
For what it's worth, Janus always found Ortmeyer's project distasteful, not to mention inefficient. But alas, sometimes you have to play the hand you're dealt.
Oh, I
Trying to
know.
persuade Janus's original five to embrace the Green Revolution.
That chance. The original five are all energy.
mysterious, I know. What I heard was the body was there, then it was gone, and then it was back again. It was too late. He was even spotted walking the cliffs at nighttime.
That's really spooky.
I take it this is not an ICA-sanctioned operation. What exactly does Miss Burnwood plan to achieve by targeting her clients? Violating her own code?
She's doing it for us.
Us? Oh, I see. The penny drops. I should have known. How does a man leave no trace? By not existing in the first place. Lucas Gray. Or was it Subject 6? He died when the Institute went up in flames, but no body was ever produced. And unlike you, his rage never faded. So, now you want the partners, the men behind the curtain who've caused you all this pain? Well, before you go knocking down a wall, you better make sure it's not load-bearing.
So this damn yoga bitch has got him running and cycling and doing sit-ups and whatnot.